Hi students, in this session we are going to discuss solubility, mainly solubility of solid in liquid solutions, solubility of gases in liquid solution we are going to discuss. First one, solubility of a solid in a liquid. This concept we are going to see. First, solubility definition you have to see, sir. The amount of solute that dissolved in 100 grams of solvent to form saturated solution at a given temperature is termed as solubility. When we are going to the solubility concept, generally we are using one word like dissolves like. What is the meaning of like dissolves like? Means particular solutes dissolved in particular solvents. Is a clean example. NaCl, sugar. These two are generally considered as polar solutes dissolved in polar solvents like water. Naphthalene and anthracene, these are non-polar solutes generally dissolved in non-polar solvent like benzene. Carefully see, these are polar solute, polar solvent. These are non-polar solutes, non-polar solvent. Polar solutes dissolved in polar solvent, non-polar solutes dissolved in non-polar solvent. But here polar solutes does not dissolve in non-polar solvent, or else here non-polar solutes does not dissolve in polar solvent. Is it? That's why we are using here like dissolves like. Is it? Now here is this solute I am taking, solvent, equilibrium, solution. Sir, here solute I am taken solid, solvent, generally liquid I am taken, liquid, solution also liquid in state. Okay, carefully see. Suppose some solvent here taken initially. For this, when we are added some solute particles, these solute particles start dissolved in solvent, convert into solution. The amount of solute dissolved in solvent, that process we call as rate of dissolution. Here solute dissolved in solvent, that process, forward process, what we call rate of dissolution. Initially we taken only solvent, for that solute we are added. Slowly what will happen? Solute start dissolving solvent, that is what rate of dissolution increases. After some time, some amount of solute already dissolved in solution, that solute particle bombarded or collide with each other. Due to collisions, that solute particles again comes back. That process we call as crystallization. Okay, solute particle comes out from the solution is called what's a crystallization. That is we call rate of crystallization. Forward process dissolution. The speed we call rate of dissolution. Is a clean. Already dissolved solute particle collide with each other. They are solidified out or crystals out. That speed we call rate of crystallization. Carefully see, initially solvent we taken, then some solute we are adding. What will happen? Slowly dissolution will happen, and then here initially rate of dissolution is more. After dissolving some solvent solute, then that solute particle is crystallizes out slowly, means your rate of dissolution is more, speed of dissolution more, and initially rate of crystallization is less. Slowly this rate of after dissolving, rate of dissolution or speed of dissolution decreases and rate of crystallization increases. At certain time both rates or both speeds are equal. The stage at which here this solubility or this process attains equilibrium, the rate at which rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction, that is we call as it attains equilibrium. At equilibrium, once attain equilibrium for this process, inside this solution dissolved solute particle quantity no change after what are the time. Reason, how much solute particle dissolved into the solution, the same number of solute particle comes out. Suppose 2 particles per second dissolved here. In the same way 2 particles comes out from the solution, so net solute particle in the solution there is no change, is a kingdom. So once equilibrium attained, concentration of solute in the solution there is no change, is a kingdom. Carefully see, quantity here, quantity of solute more dissolved in the solution, that solutions we called saturated solution. If the some quantity of solute only dissolved in the solvent, that is what we call unsaturated solution. Means here quantity of solute dissolved in solvent at given temperature, depend on that quantity, what we call solution we can broadly divide into 3 types. What are that solution? First, unsaturated solutions. Unsaturated solution. Second one, saturated solution. Third one, super saturated solution. This quantity of solute dissolved in the solution at given temperature, depend on that solutions are 3 types: unsaturated solution, saturated solution, supersaturated solution. Unsaturated solution, suppose here you see 100 ml of solvent I am taken. Very less amount of solute if you are added, solute quantity is less, very less amount of solute dissolved, such a solution we call as unsaturated solution. Why it is called as unsaturated solution means how much amount of solute can dissolve in this particular amount of solvent, that much solute is not there. Very less amount of solute is there, so this is unsaturated solution. In unsaturated solution, if you add extra solute, that can also dissolve in the solution. Such a solutions we call as unsaturated solution. if the maximum amount of solute dissolved in particular quantity of solvent, if that solution no further dissolution of solutes, such as solutions we called saturated solution. Suppose 10 grams of solute dissolved in 100 ml of solution. If that solution, if not takes further amount of solute for the dissolution, such as solutions we call as saturated solution. That saturated solution, how much solute present in 100 grams of solvent, that is we called solubility, is a cleaner. But this solubility we can check at constant temperature. Suppose when temperature changes, again some more solute also can dissolve, is a clean. Suppose already prepared saturated solution, for that some amount of solute we are added. After adding solute, with rising temperature, if that solute if dissolved, such as solutions we call as supersaturated solution. Supersaturated solutions are metastable, is a kingdom, and saturated and unsaturated solutions are stable, is a kingdom. Here unsaturated, very less quantity of solute dissolved, that is unsaturated solution. Okay, the maximum quantity of solute dissolved in particular quantity of solvent at given temperature, if that solution not take further further amount of solute, that is we call saturated solution. With increasing temperature, if more solute dissolved in saturated solution, that is supersaturated solution. Here you see, son, depending on nature of solute, these solutes we can divide into three types. What that is? Soluble substance, sparingly soluble substance, insoluble substance. Soluble substance, sparingly soluble substance, insoluble substance. Per 100 ml, suppose if the solute greater than 1 gram solute dissolved in 100 ml of solution, that is we call soluble substances. If the any solute more than 1 gram dissolved in 100 ml of solution, that is we call soluble substance. Sparingly soluble substance, if the any solute 1 gram to 0.001 gram solute dissolved in 100 ml of solution, that is we call sparingly soluble substances, is a cleaner. If the any solute dissolved less than 0.01 gram in 100 ml solvent, such as solutions we call as insoluble substances. In that substance we call insoluble substance. In all these three to define quantity of solvent, how much I am taken? 100 ml. In 100 ml, more than 1 gram solute dissolved, that is soluble substance. In 100 ml, 1 gram to less than 1 gram, more than 0.001 gram solute dissolved, that is sparingly, and here less soluble substance. Insoluble, if the substance dissolved in 100 ml solvent, less than 0.001 gram solute if dissolved in 100 ml of solution, that is we call insoluble substance. Now we are going to discuss factors influencing solubility of solids in liquids. In this factors. What are the factors comes in this concept means you see, one is temperature, pressure, nature of solute and nature of solvent. These factors, how they affect, are going to see. First one, in solids dissolved in liquid, the major role is temperature. Now, first one, effect of temperature. Effect of temperature on solubility of solids in liquids. So you see, with increasing temperature, all solids solubility in liquid solution not increases. In all cases, with increasing the temperature, there is no increasing in solubility. Carefully see here. Here, depending on type of process, with increasing temperature, solubility may increase or decrease. Carefully see example 1. Here, calcium hydroxide when dissolved in water, quicklime dissolved in water, here it forms calcium hydroxide plus heat energy. When quicklime dissolved in water, calcium hydroxide produced, along with this some heat energy is liberated. If the product side heat, if you are seeing with plus sign, it indicates what's the energy released. In such a cases, delta H value is negative or delta H is less than 0. Less than 0. Such a process we call as exothermic process. This process we can call exothermic process. In exothermic process, a temperature effect to understand, or exothermic or endothermic process, temperature effect to understand, we should know the Le-Chatelier's principle. According to the Le-Chatelier principle, here exothermic process, for exothermic process, low temperature is favorable. For endothermic process, high temperature is favorable. Carefully see exothermic process. During this process, heat energy liberated. Is it clear? This heat energy liberated means exothermic process. Suppose in this case, if you rise the temperature, instead of releasing energy, what will happen? It takes energy. Instead of forward direction, backward process will take place. To add this one, here exothermic process, favorable temperature is low temperature. Means here this process to takes place, less temperature is required. With a decreasing temperature, solubility of CaO in water increases. In exothermic process, solubility inversely proportional to temperature. With rising temperature, solubility decreases. Okay, like one more, lithium carbonate, Li2CO3. These are what's a dissolution is exothermic process. In exothermic process, carefully see, if the delta H negative or delta H is less than 0, in that case, with increasing temperature, solubility decreases. One more, in endothermic example, you see here ammonium chloride solid dissolved in water, it produced ammonium chloride aqueous solution minus heat. Here product side minus heat, minus sign heat means if you take into plus heat, it means ammonium chloride while dissolved in water, it absorbs heat energy. It means this value you can write delta H is positive or delta H value greater than 0. This process we can call endothermic process. In endothermic process, during the process it takes energy, means energy it takes means that energy we can give in the form of heat. While giving heat, temperature will increases. So endothermic process, for endothermic process high temperature is favorable. So endothermic process solubility to increase, temperature should be increases. In this case, solubility directly proportional to temperature. In this case means endothermic process solubility increases with rising temperature. Now we will see lattice energy and hydration energy role in the solubility of ionic solids. We have to see. Carefully see, sir. First, lattice energy, hydration energy, to understand one small diagram. Here, ionic solid I am taken. This ionic solid to dissociate into separate ions, the required energy is known as lattice energy. Correct definition means the amount of heat is required to separate 1 mole of solid substance, 1 mole of ionic solid into its constant positive and negative ions. That is called as lattice energy. 1 mole solid to dissociate into its ions. How much energy required? That is lattice energy. So this process of dissociation is endothermic process. Here delta H is positive. To take place this process, energy is required. Next step, these ions, when we are adding solvent or water, what will happen? Suppose water solvent we are adding, what will happen? Water when you are adding H2. When you are adding, these ions are absorbed water molecule and polar ionic bond, polar bonds will be formed in between water molecule. Is it clear? Carefully see this second process means here first process dissociate, here energy required. Second process, water going up, these ions absorbs water, these ions surrounded by water. This process here delta H is negative. Delta H is negative means in solubility one solid dissolved or undissolved, that is to understand main its lattice energy and its hydration energy play an important role. Carefully see here, this is releasing energy, this is taking energy, this is endo, this is exo. Any solid itself is dissolved in solvent. For that solute, its hydration energy must be greater than lattice energy. Then the solid easily soluble. Suppose if the lattice energy more than what, sir? Hydration energy, solubility is that solid is insoluble. So first one, case 1, lattice energy, if condition, if lattice energy greater than hydration energy, solid is insoluble. Reason, as compared to the releasing energy, taking energy is more. That's why we should provide this type of substance to dissolve. We should give more energy. Is clean. So in this case, this is delta H positive means when we are giving energy, then only dissolve. Otherwise, these solids cannot dissolve. Is clean. Next one, Case 2. If lattice energy less than hydration energy, solid is soluble. Here delta H negative. Reason, releasing energy more as compared to taking energy. Suppose 20 calorie energy is required to dissociate the solid. 30 calories energy released due to hydration. So resultant how much? Here 20 takes, 30 releases. That the net energy is minus 10, means 10 kilocalories releases. So such a cases we no need to give any energy, itself it dissolved. Reason hydration energy is more. Third one, if lattice energy equal to hydration energy, here sparingly, in general what we call sparingly soluble. In such a cases, in this type of cases, sparingly soluble. Okay, in these cases what will happen? Temperature effect is very less. The solid which have almost equal lattice energy and hydration energy, such a solid, temperature effect is negligible. Now you have to understand, for example, NaCl, if you take NaCl, hydration, first lattice energy, right? NaCl lattice energy 184 kilocalorie per mole and hydration energy 182.6 kilocalorie per mole. These type of solutes with increasing temperature or decreasing temperature, temperature effect is very less on its solubility. But first case is see lattice energy more than hydration energy. In that case, what will happen? Solid is insoluble. With rising temperature, here solubility increases. Hydration energy, case 2. Hydration energy lattice energy less than hydration energy, means hydration energy is more than solid is soluble, means here what's a exothermic process, low temperature is favorable. Here low temperature, high temperature, here temperature effect is negligible. Solubility of ionic solids. Ionic solids to dissolve more quantity in solvent in liquids. What are the factors are main? Means you see, if smaller lattice energy, more hydration energy, then solubility is more. If the any solid having, already we seen this point, if the ionic solid having less lattice energy, high hydration energy, such as solids are more, such ionic solids are more soluble in solvents. Carefully see, this lattice energy mainly depends on force of attraction between two opposite charged ions. That force of attraction I denoted with F. This force of attraction between opposite charged increases. They are strongly bonded with each other. To separate that ions, it required more lattice energy. So, force of attraction increases, lattice energy also increases. What is the formula for force of attraction? Is equal Q dash by R square into D. Here capital D. What are the terms here? Q dash are charges of ions, opposite charged ion charge. Suppose positive ion charge means negative ion charge, or negative ion means this is positive ion charge. Charge present on opposite charged ions are distance, radius, or distance between opposite charged ions. Distance between charged ions. Carefully listen. D dielectric constant. What is dielectric constant? What are the parameters? We'll see in another session. But here how these factors affect, you have to see. Carefully see. Force of attraction between opposite charges increases, lattice energy increase. Lattice energy increase, automatically solubility decrease. Carefully see. Lattice energy directly proportional to force of attraction between ion. In both are inversely proportional to solubility of ionic solid. Here, solubility of ionic solid to increase, force of attraction should be decreased. Force of attraction decreases, the lattice energy decreases. When lattice energy decreases, they are readily dissolved in given solvent. Carefully see, sir. The charges increases, attraction increase. Reason, more charge means more strongly attracted. Okay. So charges increases, force of attraction increases. Distance between the opposite ions increases. And the ions are far away from each other. Then what will happen? Here attraction will be decreases. Here dielectric constant increases, force of attraction decrease. Force of attraction decrease, solubility increases. So see, charge to more soluble, charges are less, distance between ions are more, and dielectric constant is more. Higher dielectric constant, larger distance between the opposite charged ions, less charges on opposite charged ion. These are the favorable conditions for the ionic solid. For ionic solid, more soluble in solvent. Is a clean. Here dielectric constant. For water, dielectric constant 82, methanol 33.5, benzene it is 2.3. Least dielectric constant value. Carefully see. In generally, ionic solids more soluble which solvent having high dielectric constant. Ionic solids very less soluble which solvent having least dielectric constant. Suppose you take NaCl. NaCl is ionic solvent. It is readily soluble in water but insoluble in benzene like solutions. Is it clear? This is the what's ionic solids solubility. Next one, solubility of molecular solids. Molecular solids means it is a covalent solids. In that molecule, in between atom, covalent bonds are there. There is no charges. Carefully see, sir. These molecular solids which contain water attracting group OH or NH2, these are polar groups. Which molecular solids contain polar groups? They are readily soluble in polar solvent. They are soluble in polar solvent. Actually, sugar, it is a what's it? Molecular solid, but it contains OH groups. This the polar group is present in molecular solid. That's why easily dissolved in water. Carefully see, naphthalene, anthracene, these type of components, there is no polar groups. So these compounds we consider as non-polar molecular solids. These are dissolved in non-polar solvents. Here one simple point, molecular solids we can divide into two types. Molecular solids containing polar groups and polar molecular solids without polar groups. Which molecular solid having polar group, they are soluble in polar solvent. Which molecular solid does not possess these polar groups, they are soluble in non-polar solvents. Here this is the solubility of ionic solids, solubility of molecular solids.